Hey everyone, and welcome back to another week and another episode. I'm sorry that I didn't post anything up last week. Unfortunately, I've been ill, so needs will as the devil drives, and I didn't really want to do a review through a thick layer of phlegm in the back of my throat, you know? I'm still feeling a bit bunged up, but good enough to do the review. I've noticed looking over the channel that a lot of my reviews have been quite negative. Alpha Protocol, Final Fantasy XIII, Fight Night Champion, and of course Dragon Age 2. However, I'm not the angry video game nerd, and I do enjoy a lot of the video games that I play, so I've decided that this week I'm going to have a look at a title which I personally very much enjoy. It's not been released recently, but it's available on Steam as an indie title for about, I think it's £6 at the moment, and it's well worth a look. It's called Atom Zombie Smasher, and it is every bit as weird and wonderful as it sounds. Let's take a look. So, what kind of game is Atom Zombie Smasher? It's a strategy game, plain and simple. What you see here is the main campaign map. It's divided up into territories which zombies attack and which you control. Each turn is 1 month, and each turn gives you a various random effect, such as here, increased helicopter speed, which we'll get to in a moment. Each turn the computer can place a number of markers down depending on how far into the campaign you are. We'll get onto that later again. After choosing a zombie territory to attack, you then need to position the units which are available to you. Now, these vary from month to month. Units which you've used in previous months will often not be available in the later game. In the early game, which is where we are at the moment, they'll always be available to you because, well, otherwise all you'd have is the evacuation helicopter. Your goal is simple. Evacuate civilians. If you can get enough civilians out, the amount needed is in the top right hand corner, then you win the map, the infestation is removed, and zombies can no longer attack that territory, making it safe. You also have the option of trying to destroy all zombies in the city before sundown. If you can, you really want to do this, because it means that the territory is not only rendered uninvadable, but you also gain victory points each turn for having held it. You can reposition your units once the fight has already begun. This is especially useful with a helicopter, as its foghorn can be used to shepherd the civilians around and try to keep them away from the zombie hordes. You can see here as well, the snipers can also be moved, and as you go on through the game, more and more units become available to you of various different types. Once night falls, you're in trouble. Zombies will pour in all over the map and quickly finish off any civilians that have been left. But if you've got enough of them out, bingo, you beat the level, you're awarded victory points, and the enemy is awarded victory points, especially for also infecting your civilians. This can mean that sometimes it is actually a valuable tactic to kill the civilians before the zombies get to them. A dark touch. Okay, let's skip on ahead a little bit so I can show you what the game's like further down the line. You can see here that I've got snipers positioned on the roof covering that road, as well as infantry covering that same location. I've also got 2 barricades, those orange squares up, forcing all the zombies to face both my snipers and my infantry. Now, this is what sets Atom Zombie Smasher apart from so many other real-time strategy titles. It's not about mixing and matching your units, it's not about a game of rock, paper, scissors with anti-aircraft beating helicopter, helicopter beating tank, tank beating anti-aircraft. It's about taking the resources that you've got in the conditions which you have to use them and making the most out of them. You can see here that the daytime was considerably shorter. That's owing to a random event that spawned at the start of the month. This means of course that I don't have anywhere near as much time to get the civilians out. And likewise, the units which are available to me are also determined by the units which I used in previous months. But by ensuring that that roadblock was set up, I was able to get enough civilians out to qualify for the victory bonus straight away, and at this point it's just racking up XP for my troops. Your troops level up as you play the game. The helicopter levels up by rescuing people, snipers and soldiers level up by killing zombies, and these level ups, whilst they're useful, don't dictate the flow of the game. The difficulty and the challenge in Atom Zombie Smasher comes entirely from using the resources which are available to you, and that is something which is very rare. There's no, as I say, rock, paper, scissors tactics. There's no Zerg rush. It's all about what you've got and how you use it. Here's another example. You can see here that I've got the fire cane effect. That means that I have to deal with faster zombies. However, I can set up my snipers and my infantry in the same location, and then use the zombie bait special ability to attract the zombies into that killing field, dealing with almost all of them. Placing my helicopter nearby as well also means that I can use the foghorn to shepherd most of the civilians out of the immediate line of fire of the zombies. Now, as you can see, one did manage to escape, but I can chase that one down. It's this strategy and this planning which is what makes Zombie Atom Smasher so rewarding. Unfortunately, it does mean that the difficulty curve is very steep. It can take some getting used to get your head around the idea that you have to position your units and use them effectively, as opposed to simply just trying to kill all the zombies. As you can see here, I did manage that, which means that I also managed to seize the territory. As you play through the game, victory points are tallied up depending on how many civilians you save and also how much territory that you actually hold. Likewise, the zombies gain victory points for infecting civilians and also holding territory. There are certain points on the victory track that when reached unlock certain special effects. For example, you gain the ability to start using scientists that you rescue to do research, or zombies start to mutate and larger outbreaks occur. This can throw a real spanner into your works, again adding to the random nature of the game. It's this random nature of the game which is what makes it so unique and so challenging. You never know quite what you're going to be up against, and no two playthroughs ever go the same. It encourages you to think on your feet, not to simply rely on the same old tactic again and again, but to actually look, to actually think, and to actually come up with new tactics, new ways of tackling the problems on the fly. And that is something about video games which I absolutely love, and I think has been sorely lacking in recent titles. Atom Zombie Smasher also has a few other nice features. For example, check out this surf guitar. It's a nice little touch, and it's available throughout the whole game. Also, when you set up a new campaign, you have various options and special rules that you can set up depending on what sort of game you want to play. Fully stocked can be a lot of fun, and permadeath can lead to a very interesting game. Llama Pile is also hilarious, and triplets can lead to some interesting tactical outcomes. There's also a fantastic system for modding the game. When you select create a new mod, essentially the game creates a brand new ini file for you, and after that all you need to do is just edit the numbers. It opens it up in Microsoft Notepad, no need for any extra editing software or anything like that, just fire it up and change the numbers that you want. It's a little bit awkward to get to grips with, but once you get your head around it, it's actually fairly easy and pretty intuitive. There's even an in-game system for actually creating these mods and sharing them, as well as getting hold of mods from other people. All in all, it's a brilliant cherry on top of a very nice cake. So, overall, I've been hugely impressed by Atom Zombie Smasher. It's a brilliant game, not just as an indie title, but the entertainment that it offers, the intellectual stimulation. It's on par with many of the big name brands such as Command & Conquer and StarCraft. In fact, I'd say in many ways it's better than those because it is about actual strategy. It's not about memorising build queues and rushing the enemy, it's about actual strategy. Plain and simple. Like I said, it's available for Steam on £6, and I can promise you that if you enjoy strategy games, it'll be some of the best money that you've ever spent. For Geek Hammer, I'm Evis T, signing off.